What's going on, guys? Today I wanted to bring you another one of my 2014 WCQ hat format deck profiles. The deck I wanted to show off today is Ninja Artifact Traptrix. It's such a cool deck that I think is very unexplored in terms of recent hat format, but it was kind of a popular deck back in 2014. It's had a couple tops here and there, but I think that with some additions to the old builds, this deck actually is just so cool, and I had a bunch of people actually ask me for a Ninja deck profile, so this is the one that I've played the most. And I do have some other Ninja deck profiles. For example, there's a Ninja Dino deck and also just a Ninja Traptrix deck that if you guys are interested, let me know in the comment section and I can make a profile for those as well. But this build is really cool, and so I'm excited to get into it. So let's do just that. Starting off with the monsters, we play 3 copies of Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. On normal summon, this allows you to add a ninjutsu art card from deck to hand, and then when it's flip or special summoned, you can add a ninja monster from deck to your hand, except itself. So really good card, basically just a Stratos for either your ninjutsu spell or traps or your monsters. And then 2 copies of Upstart Golden Ninja. This allows you to once per turn send a trap card from hand to graveyard and then special summon a level 4 or lower ninja monster from your deck in defense position, and that doesn't limit you from summoning the other copy of itself. So if you open it and multiple traps, you can go into this, discard another trap, and go into a Hanzo, which is really cool. Originally, I was playing also 1 copy of, I think it's called Ibitsu or something, which gets an effect to bounce back row based on the number of ninjas you control, but I found that too often it was a little bricky, so I did cut it, but in the future I could see myself playing that back in this deck. I think for the other builds it's a little bit better because you don't have so many engines you're trying to cram into one deck. For the artifacts, I'm playing 3 copies of Artifact Madolche as usual, and 1 copy of Beagletech. You could also play Scythe in this deck. If I were to play Scythe, part of me would kind of want to cut 1 Madolche and just go 2-1-1. But even if I were to just add it, it wouldn't be too bad either. Obviously, being able to set these as spell or traps, and then on the opponent's turn when they're destroyed, you can special summon them, and Madolche, when it's special summoned on the opponent's turn, will pop a face-up card, and Beagletech has the option to pop your set spell and traps. Well, I shouldn't say the option to, it's mandatory to pop at least 1, but very, very good. Obviously, just this is the most standard artifact engine when you think artifacts. For the Traptrix, we play 3 copies of Mermail, and I chose to play 1 Dionea. Most builds of the Ninja Artifact Traptrix deck actually don't play Dionea, but because of some of the trap cards that I'm playing, you can actually, usually the reason they aren't playing this is because it's dead early game, but because of some of the trap cards I'm playing, you can actually just get Mermail out of deck really easily. So this card becomes a little less dead, so it's just nice to have the 1 copy as well as being able to make rank 4s, because there's also some spells and stuff I play that even if you just have to use this as a level 4 body, it's completely fine. But that's the ratios I'm playing. Obviously, Mermail can search your whole normal traps and also pop back row on special summon, and Dionea can basically summon back 1 of your Traptrix from grave, and on special summon reset your whole normal traps that are in graveyard. So really good engine. Now, this is where the deck gets a little interesting. I saw a build on Format Library that was playing this as the trap card, the ninjutsu art target, and that is 3 copies of Hieratic Dragon of H.A.T. So originally I was playing a different card. A lot of times people will play a Dark Samorg for their ninjutsu target, but H.A.T plays a really cool role. Basically, it just has the effect that you can normal summon it without tributing, but it has 1,000 attack. What's really nice about this is it's a level 5 light. So this works really well with your artifacts, being able to just normal this, and if you already had an artifact on field, go into something like Pleiades, and you basically free special summon this out with the super transformation, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I'm also playing 3 copies of another card that makes this slightly better, and we'll get to that in a moment. I didn't see any other builds really playing it, the spell card, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But that's it for the main monsters, and then for hand traps, I'm just playing 2 copies of Max C. No Crow in this build. There are builds that go a little heavier on like a Chaos Engine, and they'll play like 2 Crows, a BLS, and maybe a couple other cards. Specifically, I didn't have the space to do that. If I wanted to go like closer to 45 cards, I probably would do that, because you guys know I like my 2 ratio, so I play like 2 Max C, 2 Crow, which is an option, but for the sake of this, I just wanted to slow down the combo decks a little bit and get some advantage, so Max C. Moving on to the spells, I am playing 3 copies of Instant Fusion. So not a lot of builds, well actually none of the other builds I saw were playing this, and I think this just makes the deck so much better, because if you open, say, like an H.A.T plus an Instant Fusion, you're able to just normal summon this and then go Instant Fusion and make a turn 1 Pleiades. So this becomes less of a brick and less reliant on actually seeing the artifact side of the deck as well, or just the ninja side. So now with the Instant Fusion, like I said, you can just use it to make rank 5s right away. And that's also why I say Dionea is not as bad, because at worst case scenario, if you see Instant Fusion plus Dionea, you can just go for a rank 4. So this card is just so nice. Really been liking it, and it's definitely needed in this deck when you're playing those other cards. Next, I play 2 copies of Ignition and 1 copy of Double Cyclone. This is one change I'd probably make, is playing a 2nd copy of Double Cyclone. I like the 2 Ignition simply because I'm only playing 4 artifacts in the deck. And so, yeah, just in general though, there are continuous traps and other things. So being able to Double Cyclone, pop one of those, and pop an opponent's card is really good. But in general, these are the spell removal cards I'm playing, or spell and trap card removal cards. Really been liking that. Not a whole lot to say there. 2 copies of Soul Charge and 1 Rhoda to search your ninjas. For the trap cards, 3 copies of Sanctum, obviously just a super solid card. For the Ninjutsu Art traps, I'm playing 2 copies of Ninjutsu Art of Super Transformation. This allows you to target a ninja monster you control and a face-up monster your opponent controls, send them to the graveyard, and then special summon 1 dragon, dinosaur, or sea serpent monster from your deck whose level is less than or equal to the combined levels of the sent monsters, and then when this card leaves the field, you banish the monster summoned off of it. So basically, it's kind of like Super Poly, and then except you're summoning one of those types from deck, so usually that's just summoning your H.A.T, and because your ninjas are level 4, as long as your opponent's monster has a level 1 or higher, you're able to summon the H.A.T from deck, and then obviously you have your artifacts, which are 5s that you'll be summoning on your opponent's turn as more interruption, and then you can make rank 5s. Just really good card. And then I also chose to main deck 1 Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. This is why I said that Dionea is also just really good. This one you activate by tributing a face-up ninja monster you control, and you special summon a beast, wing beast, or insect monster from your hand or deck whose level is less than or equal to the tributed monsters plus 3, and then when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. But the idea is you can go Hanzo, search this, activate this on the opponent's turn, tribute the Hanzo, summon a Mermail. Mermail will pop a back row, and then if the Mermail is destroyed, you then will have your Dionea or something to bring it back, pop another back row, and make a rank 4. So I really do like this, and usually you will side Dark Simorgh against some of those trap-heavy decks. I think it's better not to main it, simply because it is a brick, and you want this deck to be as consistent as possible, as well as Being able to just summon a Mermail out of deck as well just means you have a back row removal card built in. So that's really nice. I've been enjoying that a lot. 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill, 2 copies of Call the Haunted. This card, again, just really solid for your artifacts. Also being able to summon back your Hanzo and search one of your other ninja monsters, or being able to summon back your Traptrix. This just does everything, but I think 2 is the perfect number. 1 Traptrix Traphole Nightmare, 1 Bottomless, 1 Torrential, and 1 copy of Solemn Warning to round out the main deck. For the extra deck, 1 Gaia Dragon to do piercing and stack on top of your 5s, 1 Tiras, 2 copies of Pleiades. Pleiades is just so good. Again, because of Instant Fusion, you find yourself going into rank 5s a lot more than without it. Especially, like I said, with H.A.T or Moraltac, Beagletac, your artifacts in general. Just really good, and being able to put back, like if you overlay with the card you summon off a Super Transformation, or overlay with the card you summoned off of Call the Haunted, you can then bounce them back. Just a solid card in general. 1 Volcasaurus, and the last 5 is 1 Durandal. Originally, I was trying to play one of the Ninja Xyz, the 5 that makes so ninjas can't be destroyed by battle or card effects for the turn. A Crimson Ninja, I forgot what it's called, but I did really like that, but I found for the sake of this deck, it wasn't like fully needed. But in general, you could play that if you wanted. For the rank 4s, 1 Queen Dragon Jin. This kind of ties all the cards together, being a rank 4 that has the effect that dragon monsters can't be destroyed by battle except for itself. And then also it lets you reborn one of your level 5 or higher dragons. So if you go into a 4 and say you had an H.A.T in grave, you can summon the H.A.T back. And then you're able to, take for example, you summon Dionea, summon Mermail, pop a back row, overlay into this summon back an H.A.T and then instant fusion into your target and make like a Pleiades or something. Just a really good card. People used to play this in like Harpies and stuff. So just a cool card in general. 1 Blade Armor Ninja, being able to attack twice and just end games is good. Also, my level 4 instant fusion target is a warrior, so instant fusion plus a ninja just, makes that. 1 copy of 101, 1 Exciton, 1 Emerald. Really been liking this card in this deck specifically. Being able to put back your instant fusion targets, being able to put back your artifacts, just so much versatility, and getting a draw off of it obviously is really good. 1 copy of Dweller, and 1 Rhapsodian Berserk. What I'll say is there are other rank 4s I would like to play in this deck if the extra deck wasn't so tight like it is. For example, Cowboy would be really good. Lavaval Chain, being able to dump some of your stuff in grave to then bring it back would be really nice. But there's just not the space. If I were to cut something, I'm not even like fully sure, because everything in this extra deck has come up a lot. Like, you could almost consider cutting a Pleiades, but it's just not worth cutting. Or same with like Durandal, but I think they're too necessary. And then for my 2 instant fusion targets, Ojama Knight being a level 5 light, so as I mentioned before, for Pleiades, and for the level 4 Carbonala Warrior being a warrior level 4. Just really good cards, but that is it for this deck profile. If you guys enjoyed, definitely let me know in the comments section and leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, or let me know in the comments section videos you'd like to see in the future. As I mentioned, I do have other ninja deck builds and stuff ready to go, so if you guys want to see that, definitely let me know. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.